Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Night Comics. How's everybody doing? Hi, Angela. Hi, TOS. Hey, Shady. How you doing? Elwolf, how's it going? Good timing, Elwolf. Hey, Evolved. Uh, so how's the world of chat today? Hey, Viking. Hey, James. Hey, Evil One. You guys all showed up at the same time. Hey, Picala. So we allowed to talk about the X-Men BS, or are we leaving that for a different time? Oh, man, there's so much X-Men BS right now. It's disgusting. I'm going to try and hit on some of it. Hey, Camel. Be a heads up in advance. I do have some sinus congestion. I did take some Corseed a few minutes ago, but that's actually why I'm late, because I had to run out and get some. But I'm probably going to be muting myself occasionally to blow my nose or to sneeze, because I am leaking like crazy and it's disgusting, and nobody wants to hear me sneezing on or blowing my nose. That's gross. Glad to hear you're doing okay, Elwolf. Hey, Campbell got a good shout out today from, was it Teddy Bear? Yeah, well, Evil One, that's the way things go, unfortunately. So I apologize in advance for all the muting I'm going to be doing and the gross things that are going on with me right now. Hey, Random. They're now pupil mutants. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, we'll get to that. I'll probably do that early on, actually, because I got some other stuff that'll be more interesting for the end. And that'll really make me mad, so get it out of the way. So I can be angry through the whole thing. All right, up first. The Wednesday show I kind of forgot to do because I was tired and I just went to bed. But I'm gonna try and do that stream tomorrow if I'm up for it. 10 p.m. Johnny Bonsaco's doing a drunk stream celebrating 4 birthdays and Becca's or MC. Oh, nice. I'll try and make it, James. I can't guarantee anything. I feel like crap. Not gonna lie. Terry really can't. Hey, Camel. Yeah, it's the seasonal change. I get it about twice a year, usually in the fall and in the spring. And sometimes I'll get a couple of them, but I've been doing pretty good about getting my vitamin D and zinc levels up so that I don't get this. But man, it's been kicking my butt last couple of days, and today was really bad. I've barely been out of bed, and I'm going right back there after this. So I may or may not be on Monkey in the morning. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling and if the Corseed kicks in. We'll see. But yeah, I'll try and make it, James. But like I said, I can't guarantee anything. Yeah, I hope you don't get the coof again, Viking. Yeah, 2 weeks in the spring, 2 weeks in the fall, man. Yeah, sometimes not the same 2 weeks either, back to back. It's like 1 week and then another week. The worst is if I go get some meds, like some antibiotics, and then I take them, and then I'm fine, and then I get it again like 3 weeks later. And then I'm all pissed off because the doctor won't give me another script. Thanks, Costin. Thank you, Angela. That's really nice of you guys. Yeah, I should be okay in a week or 3. It depends, all depends on how quick the season changes. Because if it warms up again, this might clear up, but I'll get it again later. So, Ohio's full of crappy weather. They say if you don't like the weather, wait a while. It'll change. They're not wrong. It's usually like a day or two, and then it'll get all crappy or heat wave. There's really no middle ground. Really, even one. I've had pretty decent luck with the flu shots, thankfully. I really hate getting the flu, and I'm old and fat, so that's not a good combination for the flu. So I try and take the flu shot. It was real bad when I had lung problems. Man, getting sick with that. Oh man, I thought I was drowning half the time. It was gross. All right, let's stop talking about my bodily functions and get to some news. All right, this one comes from comicbook.com. Surging demand and supply chain problems could lead to toy shortage during the holidays. This is from a few days ago, obviously. We're just getting 3 months out from Christmas Day, and the holiday toy rush to get toys to put under the tree might be more difficult in 2021. Major report from Reuters goes into great detail about issues with shipping and logistics across the globe that may result in toy manufacturers like Lego, Funko, and Mattel having to seek new means of getting their products in stores before the holiday season. This is one of the problems with importing everything, as I'm sure the Australian viewers fully understand, because a lot of stuff they gets imported too. And this is, for us, it's a lot of the problems that things like NAFTA created, where manufacturing is done outside the country. This wouldn't be an issue if you were doing it in country. It would just be like, you'd have to worry about like truck strikes or something like that, which, let's face it, there's no reason you shouldn't have truckers. That's a great job. It's pretty well paid. I don't think you should have a problem getting trucking, but that's not going to stop anybody from not running a boat or exporting goods. Retailers like Walmart and Target are also reportedly having to get creative to make sure their shelves are stocked, as the importing of toys, dolls, and games in the first part of 2021 has reached record heights. According to the outlet, toy manufacturers, including Funko, are using pricey cargo planes, routing shipments to new seaports, and asking retailers like Target to do their own shipping. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in major disruptions for shipping costs and timing around the globe, especially as the virus itself continues to impact pivotal sections of the supply chain. They're talking about Southeast Asia mainly. They note there have been entire port and plant shuts down in Asia as a result of the continued spread of the coup, further delaying materials. Brands like Bratz, Moxie Girls, and Poopsie Slime Surprise is quoted as telling Reuters there's more demand than we can supply. I don't know. You'd think that Poopsie Slime Surprise, they would just go to Taco Bell and get that. Hey, tall person. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you, tall person. Oi, can't watch live. We'll watch it full later. Happy Save the Koala Day. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And thank you, Holden McCock. I find it that a healthy dose of horseradish really clears the sinuses. Yeah, that's not all that clear. That shit's disgusting. But thank you, Holden. The trucks are there. That's not the problem. The issue is the drivers are less certified transport drivers now than they were through the pre-pandemic. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, and that sucks because, I mean, I knew a couple guys with CDLs that won't drive truck anymore because they couldn't get jobs before. Now the jobs are open and they've got better jobs. So yeah, they don't want to go back to driving truck because before they were trying to lowball everyone. There was one dude who I kind of know but don't like, but he started working as a truck driver for $9 an hour. That's garbage. You make more at fast food, but they didn't want to pay anyone. But now they're desperately short, and nobody's either back in the industry or the regulations are ridiculous. Yeah, it's regulated no end. Yeah, I'm sure it's the same in America and Canada. The regulations and liabilities are ridiculous. Drivers and cost of gas. Yeah, the cost of gas is skyrocketing. It's drop bear day now. Even if they learn to ride emus, right? Oh man, can you imagine koalas jousting on emus? I am, and it's awesome. Previously, shipping toys from their East Asia manufacturing plants to the United States was the standard, but as Reuters reported, many companies began chartering planes to get their goods to America. That's going to cost them a fortune. Another person interviewed for the piece, Neil Jones-Shaw, global head of air freight for Flexport, told the outlet one-way charter flights cost $1.2 to $1.5 million, making an increase of nearly 3 times the traditional cost. That's nuts. There's no capacity left. It's almost take a miracle for you to find a charter between now and the end of November, early December, he added. Spokesman for Lego made a comment they are not experiencing any significant distribution disruption to the overall supply of our products or raw materials and are able to meet demand. So all fails look for Lego. I've been seeing a lot of Lego stuff already in the stores. That's why I think they're saying that, because they've already got heavy supply on hand. Oh, I don't doubt it, Pink Hollow. And that's probably not going to change anytime soon. Yeah, Biden's America. Don't get me started on politics. My mother spends most of her time driving around Midwest, and she is confirmed that we share the same problems. I'm not surprised, dude. I'm really not. It's sad, but it's not surprising. 30 cents cheaper than in West Virginia. Yeah, state taxes and federal taxes are why your gas prices are so high. And it's absolutely asinine. There's no reason for it other than the government likes money. It's cheaper and I need the money. Hey, Atheist, how you doing, man? Ham radio swap meets. Oh, that's not a bad plan. Like pop-up flea markets. That probably could be a thing. I mean, you always have like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, but hey, Nico, how you doing? All right, let's talk about some X-Men since those were brought up. I have 2 X-Men stories. Both are annoying. Where did I put the other one? Huh. Oh, yeah, there we go. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. I hate being sick. I absolutely hate it. It's always when I'm trying to do stuff too. I've been trying to fix my car up, and now I get sick. Right after I get the last part I needed to replace a headlight. I had to go get new wire strippers because mine apparently wandered off somewhere. And I finally get those and I get sick. Good times. All right, so this from Screen Rant. X-Men could join the MCU as Nephilites, not mutants. MCU fans desperately want Marvel to make the X-Men debut. All right. Now, Screen Rant is a notoriously left-leaning source, so let's see what they have to say about this. Phase 4 maybe laying the groundwork. Eternals Thanos Rise is a one-shot from Kieran Gillian and Dustin Weaver depicting the Eternals' ideological struggle over whether they should be allowed to interbreed. The Eternals are superhuman beings created by the Celestials to safeguard Earth and manage their artificial race, the Deviants. Though they often look and behave like superheroes, they're actually a complex biological machine, and no Eternal is surplus to requirements. They're all mortal, reborn on death, and their family structures and even personalities are designed to drive them to fulfill their design. Because of this, Eternals don't breed like other species, or at least they're not supposed to. This comic serves as an origin story for Thanos, the ultimate project of his father, mentor, and mother, Sui-san, and the tragic success of their attempt to create a true eternal child. There is something Eternals can't usually do, though. That doesn't mean they can't create offspring. In fact, Eternals can breed with other species, such as humans and deviants, creating beings known as Nephilites, or enhanced offspring. Nephilites is a derivative of the term Nephilim, which is from the Christian Bible, obviously, which were the offspring of fallen angels and humans, according to the majority of mythos. You can delve into some crackpot shit on YouTube and have a lot of fun with that, but that's the broad strokes. In this case, Nephilites are more than mortal, but far less than eternal. As these comics redefine the Eternals prior to their appearance in the MCU, fan attention is laser focused on those ideas the story brings to the fore. And it's possible the Nephilites are stressed here as the beginning of a plan to merge them with the idea of mutants in movie canon. In the comics, mutants decidedly aren't Nephilites, but rather Homo superior, the next evolutionary step for mankind. At least that's what they've been saying for ages, and that's what Magneto preaches. That may not necessarily be the case. I mean, mutation is mutation. It's not necessarily evolution. But that's how they've branded themselves for many decades. But the MCU has a long history of fudging this kind of designation when needed, such as when the Collector and Grandmaster were seemingly downgraded from their cosmic role in the comics, or when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2's Ego described himself as a Celestial. Yeah, he's not. Technically. Depicting mutants as humans who gain powers from an eternal lineage would be an easy way to establish the concept in the context of the movies Marvel has planned in the near future. Plus, given humanity doesn't know about the Eternals, mutants could be treated the same way they are in the comics, randomly manifesting powers in a world that hates them and fears them. Turning mutants into Nephilites won't be a significant betrayal of comics canon. The comics have established that some mutants were known as Chephila and Nephilim in the distant past 1 million BC. This is a new thing they've done. This is not old canon. This is the last 5 or 6 years. They did this 1 million BC storyline, and it was really, really stupid. Even though they are the source of much prejudice against the supernatural, back when they were called Witchbreed, even the evolutionary explanation for mutation isn't core to the characters, who have been depicted as the result of radiation, genetic tampering, and even celestial intervention. That's true, they kind of bounced around on that stuff for a while. That's why they were called Children of the Atom, because they were big on radiation in the 60s. What it means to be a mutant has been flexible in Marvel's past, and with the MCU now foregrounding the Eternals, it makes sense to merge Nephilites and mutants. No, it doesn't. If it unlocks access to iconic characters like Wolverine, Storm, Magneto. Not really. I think this is just a lazy way for them to introduce it, but hey, it's time to go live. It's not surprising that they would do this just to make things a little more simplistic for what they think are stupid audience members. And yeah, they're probably going to do this. Want someone called Ego call himself something great, even though he isn't. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. They could just say that when Tony Stark snapped his fingers, it rewrote part of history or merged a different timeline or some nonsense shit like that. Or there was just no formal organization of mutants, and they could start out with Xavier starting his school up. But they don't want to do that. They want to jump straight to winning. Yeah, they're just being lazy with it. They think everybody's dumb. So they got to dumb it down. So that was the first story. And yeah, I mean, I understand why they'd want to do that, because if they think we're stupid, then yeah, they're definitely going to want to do that. But it's just lazy. Now we get to the big X-Men story. This is the one that really matters. This comes from Cosmic Book News. Where's Bob Dole News? Bob Dole's still cool, so there it is. Anti-X-Men producer gets promoted at Marvel Studios. And no one was surprised. RIP MCU continues as Disney and Marvel Studios have promoted producer Victoria Alonso. On Monday, the trades received word from Disney and Marvel that Victoria Alonso has been promoted to president, physical and post-production, visual effects and animation production at Marvel Studios. Victoria Alonso has been with Marvel since day one, Marvel Studios, where she recently came out against Iron Man 2. As she said, to this day, she doesn't like certain remarks made by Tony Stark aimed at Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff in the movie, which is probably also the reason why there's no sex appeal in Black Widow, a movie that is one of Marvel's worst performing movies of all time and the subject of a lawsuit from Johansson against Disney. Alonso is also the producer who is against using the term X-Men in the MCU simply because it contains the word men. So it's anybody's guess where the mutant team created by Professor Xavier, a man, is going to be referred to in the MCU. They're probably going to be called the Nephilites. If that's what they're going with, is the Nephilites thing, that's probably what they're going to call them. Victoria Alonso is also in part behind the MCU's recent diversity push of replacing classic Marvel characters with LGBTQ and POC representation, and Marvel and Disney's politically correct agenda, which is similar to everything that has come out of Hollywood of late that took the same approach and has been considered a disaster. Obviously, with Alonso's promotion, that means the MCU's PC agenda will just get woke, or worse. Woke is an understatement, which will be reflected in the X-Men and Wolverine and more. Eternals. That's still an awesome image. Via deadline, Alonso will continue to serve as executive producer on all upcoming feature films, including Eternals, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, as well as episodes on Marvel Studios' upcoming series for Disney Plus, including Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight. Victoria's been an incredible partner, blah, 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 fluffing her, cupping her balls. There's the bitch there. So, if you see your stuff getting more woke, this is why. They are doubling and tripling down. I suspect that in 10 years, she will be regarded the same way Kathleen Kennedy is. She's going to do to Marvel movies what Marvel Comics has been doing for years, which is crapping all over their characters. And they almost certainly will rename the X-Men. Maybe they'll call it Xavier's Force or something stupid like that. But I think they're going to go with this Nephilites thing because these articles do link well together. If they're going to connect the X-Men to the Eternals instead of making them outcast mutants, they're going to go a lot more woke with everything. So that's going to be annoying. And it's already disappointing. I mean, it's just going to make everyone mad. Marvel's X-People. Hey, Buster. Hey, Useless. How you doing, man? Did I miss anyone else walking in? X-Persons, yeah. I don't know why they just don't make them all Spanish and call them Latinx. Latinx. Oh, there's a volcano blowing up in Spain? Oh, that's not cool. Yeah, Rodline, you're not wrong, but I think anything with the X, they're probably going to be real careful about. But X-Force would make sense. Yeah, Shady, I'm kind of there with you. They keep screwing up. They keep making this woke crap that nobody wants. And if they're going to make this trash, they should at least make it interesting. Damn sinuses. Kelly Price, gospel singer Kelly Price, has been listed as a missing person following a welfare check conducted at her home last Saturday. Whoa. That's not cool. Oh, the old X-Men cartoons are great, Evolved. More pissed off than a priest at an all-girls school. Oh, man. Oh, how fast would I be defrocked? I mean, that's awful. Let's check out this Kelly Price thing real quick. All right, I'm going to go with the most recent article here. Then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled news. And of course, there's going to be like 8 million ads. I hate pop-ups so much. John Jones has been arrested again. Wow. So singer Kelly Price is missing. She's listed as missing after a welfare check conducted at her home on September 18th. Oh, man. Somebody did a lot of work to kidnap her. Oh, that was mean. I'm sorry. The National Crime Information Center now lists Kelly Price as missing. This is from Essence, obviously. The vocalist was diagnosed with the COOF in July, was admitted to a Georgia hospital, then moved to the ICU as symptoms heightened, and then she was discharged. TMZ was the first to report on this story. Her children apparently received a call about the discharge, but were concerned because she was not believed to be in full health. She's been in the hospital since July. She posted on Instagram. I don't see a date on this. I found out today that I have the COOF, she wrote on July 29th. I'm following doctor's orders. I'm quarantined, feeling really drained, splitting headache. I'm grateful and expecting to have a full recovery. Price's boyfriend is accused of not cooperating with efforts to have the singer out in touch with her family. Nice sentence there. The police have been informed. She's reported missing after a welfare check was conducted at her home on Saturday the 18th. We were told the authorities found no evidence of foul play and spoke with Kelly's boyfriend at the residence, but she's now listed as missing with the National Crime Information Center. Price is a powerful vocalist whose 1998 debut album, Soul of a Woman, went platinum. She's a beloved figure in popular music and worked with Ron Isley, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Faith Evans, and many more. Wow, so the boyfriend's not cooperating, and nobody seems to know where she is. That's not good. That's really, really bad. John Jones continues to be the only person that can beat John Jones. Apparently. How's it going? Hey, Camel. Hey, Ori. Hey, Merle. Sir Adamantine. How's it going? Well, I hope that she's okay. But if they didn't think she was fully recovered and they discharged her anyway, that's pretty negligent. And the fact that her boyfriend's not talking is pretty scummy. Wow. Well, let's do some slightly better news. Good one, random. How's it going, man? Joy Reid's going to be so happy about this. Yeah, Joy Reid's a scumbag. This comes from Bleeding Cool, of all people. Monolith Games reveals details on new Batman Tabletop Rpg. Monolith Games revealed new details about their next major release, as they're prepping for a new tabletop-based RPG based on Batman. This game is called Batman Gotham City Chronicles, the role-playing game. It'll be released sometime next year after the game receives successful backing on Kickstarter. I didn't even know about this. I would have backed that. The team is currently working out the kinks and everything. They have revealed, which they did so on Facebook over the weekend. It's still a work in progress. They haven't released full logos and stuff like that, I guess. There are spoilers below. Oh no, spoiler alert, guys, about a role-playing game. The role-playing game pays tribute to its main character, Gotham City. No, Batman's the main character. With its risks and challenges of varying intensity, players can create their own characters as well as play as iconic figures. Drive into the city's everyday life while confronting extraordinary situations as Gordon, Bullock, or Montoya explore the shadows. People like Nightwing, Huntress, and Riddler confront situations that defy logic. Black Canary, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, Clayface. So different power levels. You got your street level, your moderately powerful, low-level heroes, and then your actually powered characters. All right, so they're using a lot of DC images, character sheet stuff. All right, this could be really cool, but it depends. It might be total trash. I don't know. I'll drop the link. This is the archive link. Do you think that Red Hood has susceptibility to crowbars? That's not too soon. That's a 30-year-old joke. I want to play the Joker. So this is coming out next year. That could be really cool. It'll probably take a little while because they got to finish their Kickstarter fulfillments and whatnot. But it said next year, so Just be aware that this is a thing that it should be coming out in the foreseeable future. See if they updated anything. I'm not logged into Facebook on here, am I? No, thank God. I haven't been on Facebook in like 3 years, so I forget what I'm logged into. These are excerpts of the work in progress. Let's see if this will let me see it. Ah, there we go. All right, characters, synopsis. So this is a storyline. If it's like the DC superhero game from the 80s, I guess it was DC Heroes. It was an okay system, but the games were unfortunately reliant on NPCs quite a bit, and you had to follow the storyline a little too closely at times. And it made it difficult to run a game that way. So that kind of sucked. It'd be cool if you could play like regular street level vigilantes, though. That like create your own and not be reliant on strictly the Bat family. Make your own Robin, that sort of thing. Or make your own character. Because there's other characters running around DC's Gotham City. Information sheet. There's all your stats. You got the standard stuff. Looks like it's using probably the 5th edition rules with a few new things added in, or something similar to 5th edition. The art's pretty good, though. A lot of the classic art from the comics. Ah, here's the French. Nobody cares. All right, so that's a thing that's going to be coming out, so keep an eye out for that. Oh, yeah, formerly Rodline. You're not wrong. Sadly, that probably is going to be a scenario. It depends how woke this trash gets. I don't know if you actually get a real race card, Elwolf. Maybe. Maybe. All right, so that's that article. There's some RPG news that has come out in the last week, so we're going to see a couple more RPG things. I'm going to intersperse them with other crap, because I can. French isn't real? Yeah, it's fake. I'd rather not discuss that, Buster. I'm already not in a good mood. Melvin Van Peebles, influential director and actor and writer, died at 89. He's the filmmaker behind Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, one of the best blaxploitation films, and father and director of Mario Van Peebles. Sweet Sweetback was a groundbreaking film a few times over. Van Peebles financed and released the film independently, paving the way for an entire ecosystem of indie cinema. He really did. He was very influential in especially blaxploitation films. Because yeah, it was dirty and raw and really low budget, but it's a weirdly fun movie. Because he could afford a traditional marketing campaign to use the film's soundtrack album to build awareness for the movie, and most crucially, he proved that films by black filmmakers about black life in America could be a profitable endeavor, presaging the explosion of blaxploitation in the 70s. Dad knew that black images matter, Mario Van Peebles said in a statement from the Criterion Collection. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, then what's a movie worth? We want to be the success we see, thus we need to see ourselves being free. True liberation did not mean imitating the colonizer's mentality. It meant appreciating the power, beauty, and interconnectivity of all people. Well, that's a load of politically thin-veiled nonsense, but what he did was a lot of black people had trouble getting work in movies. So people like Melvin here made the groundbreaking decision to go into business for himself and make movies that he wanted to see and have black actors in it. And the blaxploitation movies, most of them were incredibly low budget, but they were fun. And now movies like Dolomite never would have got made if it wasn't for people like this that broke ground. Sweetback will be screened in New York Film Festival this week for a 50th anniversary tribute. It's an unparalleled career distinguished by relentless innovation, boundless curiosity, and spiritual empathy. Melvin Van Peebles made an indelible mark on the international cultural landscape through his films, novels, plays, and music. So, a very influential guy. Oh, there's Shaft. Shaft. Damn right. So, yeah, it's a real shame. He's done some great work over the years. He's acted in movies, appearing in the 1991 feature comedy True Identity, Reginald Hudlin's Eddie Murphy vehicle Boomerang, Schwarzenegger's film Last Action Hero, Charlie Sheen's Terminal Velocity. He was even in The Hebrew Hammer in 2003, which Melvin reprised the role of Sweetback, and Mario also appeared in Tina Gordon's Chisholm 23 romance Peebles, which he played Grandpa Peebles. In 1988, Mario Van Peebles starred in the NBC sitcom Sunny Spoon about a private detective, in which his father also appeared in a series as a series regular as a private bar-owning father. He was also on In the Heat of the Night, Dream On, Living Single, and Homicide: Life on the Street. So he's done a lot of stuff over the years, but Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song really started the blaxploitation genre, and it was a lot of people that wanted to be directors and actors working for pretty much nothing on shoestring budget films, and a lot of them still hold up as very entertaining. I couldn't do a live stream of Blackula because that's still under copyright. Oh yeah, Black Mama and White Mama. Yeah, that I haven't seen that in ages. But yeah, Blackula Screams, those were all classics. So although his son is a bit of a wokist, yeah, he was an influential man that deserves some credit for starting one of my favorite entertaining genres. But speaking of low budget films, this comes from Fox News. Elvira star Cassandra Peterson reveals 19-year relationship with woman. Hot. I mean, nobody cares, Elvira. She's pushing a book. Is being truthful about aspects of her love life that she hasn't revealed before. The star 70 released a memoir on Tuesday, and it reveals she's been in a relationship for 19 years with a woman she first met as a trainer at her gym. Her book is titled Yours Cruelly, Elvira, Memoirs of the Mistress of the Dark. And she fell in love with this trainer, and nobody really cares because you're 70 and you're selling a book. Picture to happen, right? So that's a thing that's in the news. I don't really care about any of that. I just shared it because it made the news. And she's got a book, and I would like to read the book, actually. Again, it's called Yours Cruelly, Elvira, Memoirs of the Mistress of the Dark. So I was a big Elvira fan as a kid. Hey, Deckfish, how you doing? It's always the gym trainer. It really is. I'll put on a dress for a shot with Elvira. Good one, random. I'm not rereading that. All right. Another sad news. We lost another comic book creator. Filipino comic book inker Jeff Huet dies from the coof. That's from Bleeding Cool. Jeff Huet was a comic book inker living and working in Philippines for American comic book publishers DC and Marvel. Such titles as Animal Man, Fantastic Four, Hulk, Iron Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, the Kingston Bible. Yesterday, he died after the coof, catching it earlier this month. Fellow comics creator Carlo, Pegulanian shared the sad news. Yeah, that sucks. For those making donations to help out, this is Carlo's update. For a while, we ask you not to send any funds to his PayPal and USD accounts until his family has sorted out the details. At this moment, his wife and daughters still need to get their thoughts together and get through this. For those outside the Philippines, if you wish to send a donation to the family immediately, temporarily you can send it to my PayPal account. Sorry, that's a little shady. Or you can send it directly to his wife, Bing, through this information here. I'm not reading all that out. I get numbers wrong. The treatment for the coof here in the Philippines is unfortunately too high and burdens the family even after hospitalization, and the situation is inconsiderate even if you've already suffered the loss of a loved one. So on behalf of the family, any help you could provide would be appreciated. Thanks again. And here he is before he died, obviously. And I'm guessing that's one of his kids. Let's see. No. Other people left well wishes. Yeah, he wasn't that old. I mean, you can tell he's got some gray hairs, but he's not a really old guy. He's got a couple of kids, it looks like, and a wife. So, yeah, pretty rough, man. I know it's real expensive for medical care in places like the Philippines because it's a third world country, effectively. First day off from my new job, and I'm sore. Nice. Well, that's a good feeling, though. Well, straight kids word, right? Yeah, so this is a bummer. And I hope his family could get through this. It's going to be a rough one. So let's get all the sad news out of the way. Somebody else died too. Yeah. There we go. This one comes from CNN. Willie Garson, Sex and the City actor, dead at 57. Now, if you're not a Sex and the City fan, because that show's fucking stupid, although this pony with her elegant mane is in there. I believe he played the best friend, like in Mr. Ed, the talking horse here had a best friend. Well, that's what Willie did. He died. This is according to his son, Nathan Garrison. He said, "Rest in peace, and I'm glad you got to share all your adventures with me and be able to accomplish so much. I'm so proud of you." An HBO Max spokesperson also confirmed Garson's passing, and the network honored his contributions to one of the most iconic shows in a statement. Willie Garson was in life, as on screen, a devoted friend and a bright light for everyone in the universe, the statement read. He created one of the most beloved characters from the HBO pantheon and was a member of our family for nearly 25 years. We are deeply saddened to learn of his passing and extended our sincere condolences to his family and loved ones. Nobody cares about Sex and the City. Most importantly, he was on Stargate Sg1. Born in New Jersey, started training as an actor at age 13. He went on to study at Wesleyan University, according to his bio posted on the university's website. His first break in Hollywood was in guest roles on TV shows like Cheers and Family Ties. It was on television that Garson would go on to make a reputation for himself as a beloved character actor. In addition to his role in Sex and the City, he had recurring memorable roles on USA Network's White Collar, ABC's NYPD Blue, and CBS's Hawaii Five-0. And Stargate SG1. He was most recently slated to appear in a reboot of the series Sex and the City, and Just Like That, which is set to premiere on HBO Max later this year. Garson was a proud parent of one child, his son Nathan, who's also an advocate for organizations that help children find homes through adoption. In January, Garson marked his son's adoption day in an Instagram post saying, "Best day of my life, always it's an honor." In the wake of his passing, Garson's many friends and former colleagues expressed their love for the actor. That's sad. I've seen this guy on tons of stuff over the years, just randomly catch him on random episodes. So he's one of those guys that you always see, but you don't really know his name. And that's always sad because those are the people that really create the shows. You know, you don't remember the extras, but you do remember their characters, like the soup guy from Seinfeld, stuff like that. They're the memorable ones. Maz and White Collar, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Oki. How's it going, man? Show directly responsible for modern female misery. You're not wrong at all. Hey, Pete, how you doing? That's why Broderick killed a couple people in a car crash in England. It wasn't from the BJ he was receiving. He was crying about his horse vice wife that wasn't there. Wilbur is dead. Yes, Merle, you're not wrong. So yeah, bummer to lose a good actor like that. Like I said, those guys are the ones that make shows for me because the main cast, they're supposed to be there. The supporting cast has to be good to help make the stars look good. Because the main cast could be kind of mediocre actors, but the supporting cast usually are the people that bounce around from other shows. They tend to be better at actors, they're just not as good looking. So they're always around, and that gives them a lot more experience than a lot of people. Check out some B-movie actors sometimes, and check out their cast listings. They've been working for decades in a lot of cases. And especially those guys up in like Vancouver area, all the extras and stuff, you've seen them on tons of shows. Clint Howard's a good example. You'll see a lot of them over and over and over again. Norman Cliff from Cheers, yeah. Sorry, Angela. Playlist to put 31 Friday Night Comics on play. Hope this helps your count. Oh, thanks, man. I gotta blow my nose again. Ah, man, I hate that. Sorry about that. All right, let's try something not quite as depressing. All right, over at Cosmic Book News, Anthony Mackie is starring in a Twisted Metal series. I don't think he's playing the clown guy, though. Anthony Mackie will be starring in Sony's Twisted Metal series, which is based on the popular video game, obviously. The details that include that the high-octane comedy series featuring an original take has been written by Deadpool writers Reet Reese and Paul Wernick. Mackie will play the lead role of John Doe in a half-hour live-action TV series. It's described as Twisted Metal's a high-octane action comedy based on the original take by, I just read that, about a motor-mouthed outsider offered a chance for a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across the post-apocalyptic wasteland. With the help of a trigger-happy car thief, he'll face... this sounds like Death Race 2000. He'll face savage marauders driving vehicles of destruction and other dangers of the open road, including a deranged clown who drives an all-too-familiar ice cream truck. Doe's a smart-ass milkman who talks as fast as he drives. With no memory of his past, he gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make his wish of finding community come true, only if he can survive an onslaught of savage vehicular combat. Sounds like Death Race 2000. Will Arnett is also involved. We're thrilled to have Anthony Mackie on board. His ability to blend comedy, action, and drama is perfect for Twisted World we're creating. Blah, blah, blah. We're big fans of Anthony's phenomenal body of work over there. Yeah, he's a good actor. And knew he was the only actor who could play a character as complex, funny, and compelling as John Doe. Fortunately for us, he agreed. Yet, Twisted Metal was no Vigilante 8. Sorry, better controls than Vigilante 8. It's also learned that Cobra Kai writer Michael Johnson Smith will write and executive produce the series, and that Reese and Wernick were attached to executive produce. Will Arnett is also involved with Mark Foreman, as the pair will also executive produce along with through their production company Electric Avenue. Although episodes include Peter Principito, artist First, and Mackie, his longtime manager Jason Spear from Inspire Entertainment, Quiblish, and Carter Swan, PlayStation producers, and Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios, will also executive produce. In addition to Twisted Metal, Anthony Mackie has been announced to star in Captain America 4, which follows Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't care. That's pretty much the article. So they're going to do an action comedy based on Twisted Metal using the premise of Death Race. Sweet. Could be good. I'll give it a shot. Game movies always suck. But no, this is a TV show, Evil One, so it can suck even more. They'll find a way to screw it up. It'll probably be really bad. But it could be interesting. Could be good. I'll give it a shot. I got HBO Max. And since I'm paying for it, I might as well watch it. Even though everybody else watches it more than me. I go over to my parents' house, and my dad's like, "What's your HBO Max password again?" So I end up sitting there watching something with them, or I go in the other room, and Dad watches stuff, and then he can't figure out how the controls work, and he ends up having to log back in 4 times. Most movies suck. I get bored watching movies; they're always too long. Yeah, I get that. A lot of people do. That's how Twisted Metal goes. Just Demolition Derby. No, that would make too much sense, Atheist. That would be a movie. They got to milk it with a TV show. A movie would be better. A Demolition Derby would be awesome, but they're not going to do that. All right. Next up, we got some lazy news here. This from Cosmic Book News. Marvel Zombies live action coming to MCU, says Mark Miller. A live action version of Marvel Zombies is again rumored for the MCU, which follows the recent episode of What If animated series on Disney+. However, the source happens to be a bit more credible. Is it? Mark Miller, the comic book creator who actually came up with the idea of Marvel Zombies and who's known for Kick-Ass and Kingsman, has moved off of Twitter and is now releasing an email newsletter where Miller went over the origins of Marvel Zombies and included mentions that sources have filled him in on a live-action version on its way. Okay, Mark Miller has written several things that the movie versions are good, but the comics blow. Kick-Ass sucked as a comic. Kingsman I didn't read. Marvel Zombies was stupid. Civil War was stupid. I'm not big on zombies anyway, but I thought Marvel Zombies was dumb. The only good crossover that happened was Army of Darkness Marvel Zombies, which was way better. Back in 2019, it was rumored a Marvel Zombies live-action version would be headed to the MCU, surrounding a series of movies and TV shows involving Secret Wars. As the rumor offers, Mephisto will be unleashing hell on Earth and the Marvel Zombies and the spirits of vengeance. What is interesting about Secret Wars is that the Russo brothers made it no secret they want to direct a Secret Wars movie, and recently saw it, learned, great sentence. Talks have fallen apart between the Russos and Marvel in regards to a new movie as a result of the Black Widow lawsuit, but as I noted, hopefully the lawsuit will get resolved, which means the Russos could continue talking with Marvel. Of course, Secret Wars rumors are basically speculation, as whatever's apparently going on with the live-action zombies could be separate. Maybe the live-action Marvel Zombies project is what Chris Evans is returning for, as not only the Russos previously said Chris Evans is done with Marvel, but the Hollywood trades have also confirmed Evans is involved in another Marvel project that is not Captain America 4. So maybe Evans is going to return as Zombie Captain America, which also begs the question of what other Avengers actors. Most likely he's going to make a guest appearance in Multiverse of Madness or something like that. Midnight Suns video game that's mentioned here at the end looks really fucking dumb. I think this is a waste of time, and they missed their window for this by about 10 years. A Secret Wars movie would be a great way to reintroduce new actors as Captain America, Iron Man, etc. But I don't think they're going to do that either. Make the endings look bleak like it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's how the miniseries ended. But it was so over the top, silly. But yeah, I don't mind zombie movies that much. It's just been oversaturated because of The Walking Dead and everybody that's trying to copy off of it. I find that very lazy. And it's just overdone. So give me a few years of not having that, and maybe I'll be more excited. That's why I say they missed their window by about 10 years. Ah, crap. Stupid sinuses. Hang on. Hey, old guy. How you doing, man? I also sent you an SCP movie. I don't know if you sent it when it came out or not. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Evil One. All right. We got some more roleplay news here. The Zombie Deadpool being just ahead in the normal universe. They brought a couple of characters over at different times from like the zombie universe as like a joke thing. I'm sure that's what the Deadpool one was. No, I wish I had some jalapenos. No, unfortunately, I can't get out to the store today. Shameless self-promotion. Damn, sinuses. All right, here's another RPG that's coming out. This looked cool. Blade Runner is getting a tabletop RPG from the studio behind Alien RPG and Tales from the Loop. Blade Runner, the seminal science fiction film about a gang of fugitive androids, is getting its own official role-playing game from the studio behind Alien and Tales from the Loop, known as Free League Publishing. Based on the classic 1982 film Blade Runner, the upcoming RPG looks to immerse players in a cyberpunk world where calculating corporations rule the world. That's not unrealistic. And ordinary people are exploited for profit. Huh. So, modern day. Set in the streets of Los Angeles in 2037, the Blade Runner RPG sees players becoming the titular Blade Runners, a specialist law enforcement department who are trained and instructed to hunt down rogue androids called replicants. Yep, players will engage in investigative gameplay, seeking clues to the whereabouts of fugitive replicants and using tools such as the infamous Voight Kampf test, which is designed to identify whether someone is an android or a human. The players will also be taking in cases beyond hunting down replicants, some of which challenge their moral code and force them to question whether enemies deserve what's coming to them. The source book will be set between the original movie and the sequel, with the game beginning just after the creation of the impressive Nexus 9 replicants on Earth by the Wallace Corporation. With it once again being legal to create replicants, players have the option to play as either humans or replicant Blade Runners. Spoiler for the movie. It's an adaptation of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Yeah, we all know. If you haven't seen the movie, what are you doing? Set to be released in 2022, its release price has not been revealed yet. If it's anything like most RPGs that come out, it'll be $50 to $60 for the core book. But this could be really cool. Could be a lot of fun. I'm going to look at it when it gets out. Maybe it'll be cool. Hey, assassin. You're in the desert, walking alone. You look down and see a tortoise. I pick it up and put it in my sack. Wait, that's Zork. You mean Tyrell Corporation? No, they're using the company from the sequel, I think. Because it's a different company that made it, the Wallace Corporation in the sequel, I think. Because Tyrell was the ones that made the originals, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I haven't seen the second movie more than once, and I kind of fell asleep during parts of it. I don't even remember the ending. I just remember not really caring too much. All right, so that looked pretty cool. The Batman RPG looked pretty cool too. So, but there's a lot of RPGs I kind of want to read the rule books too, like the Transformers one, the G.I. Joe one, and the Power Rangers one that we looked at last time. Those looked really cool. Oh, thank you, Oki, for the donation. Have a half a can of jalapenos. Said that it costs more than a pound of chicken, right? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk about Activision for a minute because, well, why not? So we got a little bit more activity on the Activision front. In the end, Harrison Ford was made to stop being a deadbeat dad, right? He's busy trying to avoid being in Indiana Jones 5, probably. This comes from Bleeding Cool. Activision Blizzard now slammed with a federal investigation. As if things couldn't get worse for Activision Blizzard, the company's been now hit with a federal investigation this week. Wall Street Journal reported this morning that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has officially started its own investigation into the gaming company over workplace practices, as the SEC has subpoenaed several senior executives, including Chief Executive Bobby Kotick. According to a spokesperson for the company, who spoke to the Wall Street Journal, the company is cooperating with the SEC in all regards and explained that regulators were examining the company's disclosures regarding employment matters and related issues. Now, if they go out of business, I hope whoever buys this place keeps this statue out front, and it'd be like a diaper company or something. That'd be hilarious. This turn of events is just the latest in a series of issues the company has been having this year, stemming from the initial lawsuit from the state of California, Department of Fair Employment and Housing, for having a poor office culture with alleged allegations of sexual misconduct and frat boy culture. That lawsuit ended up dredging, not dredged, a ton of support from employees themselves, especially after company executives said they would fight the lawsuit, which led to staff walking out and making demands of upper management to make drastic changes. Since that time, Activision Blizzard has started working with Wilmer Hale, a company that's widely known for incorporating union-busting tactics, which the staff took as a sign of bad faith in their willingness to fix the underlying issues of the company. Yeah, the underlying problem is you people are talking. Blizzard has let some of the staff go over allegations that have arisen, but the staff has still filed a lawsuit of their own against the company. So we're looking at three things here. We've got California suing them, their employees suing them, and now the feds are involved. It's an interesting crossroad to see Activision Blizzard at where they were involved in two different lawsuits at the civil and state level while being investigated at the federal level, all stemming from the same issues. I don't think these federal things are the same issues. I think they're mistaken there. This is probably more likely something to do with their pay or somebody's moving some money offshore, something like that. But we just don't know enough right now. Talk about how bad Diablo 2 rollout was. Oh, that was stupid. I don't even play Diablo. I haven't played Diablo since Diablo 1, I think. And I know they botched that one. They don't want money. They're too busy being stupid. Oh, the Diablo 3 rollout was garbage. Isn't this the remastered Diablo 2? They just screwed that one up too. Diablo 3, they just pissed everyone off. China will buy them outright instead of buying a controlling interest. Probably not wrong, BG. And then they'll use everybody's account information to spy on them. So yeah, Blizzard's in some more trouble. They're going to have to do some kind of rebranding if they want to survive all this crap, which I don't think they're going to do. They're probably too stubborn. Well, let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, Atheist, they just re-released like a remastered 2. Like, the Diablo 3 thing was way worse. But they basically told people that if they didn't like it, that what was going on, they shouldn't buy it. Well, that's a good reason, Rebel. Rename it Volcano. Heatwave. Yeah, fucking dumb. All right, over at ICV2, we've got some Funko news. I don't blame you, TOS. You have Diablo 2, can you get it for free? I don't know. Probably not. They like money. The Goonies Never Say Die game with Funko. There's a base game and an expansion entering distribution in 2022. Well, that depends on those supply chain issues. This news came out a few days ago. Funko will make Goonies Never Say Die board game and Under the Goondocks expansion available at game retailers early next year following its initial launch as a Target exclusive. It's an Overlord-style adventure game in which one player assumes the role of Goondocks Master, controlling villains like the Fratellis and One-Eyed Willie, while other players control the heroes Mikey, Mouth, Chunk, Data, and Sloth. The heroes work together to try and solve puzzles and other challenges through 9 adventures. This sounds a lot like, what was it, Last Friday or Fury of Dracula? Fury of Dracula is an awesome game, but you need like 3 people minimum to play that. The game features a game board that can be modified through the use of 4 terrain tiles, 8 sculpted plastic miniatures, 9 custom dice styled to look like pirate gems, 1 Goondocks master screen, 8 character placards, 22 foam movers with bases, 126 cards, 120 tokens, and adventure guide. Designed by Prospero Hall Design Studios. They did Disney Villainous and Horrified. Disney Villainous is pretty good. I've got one of those that I'm going to unbox on the Roll for Sanity channel at some point. Games intended for 2 to 5 players, ages 12 and up. Adventure takes a little under an hour. Manufacturer suggested retail price is $35. It's actually not bad for one of these games. Can I open that? All right, that doesn't really make that bigger. But yeah, it's just, here's the screen and character sheets, all that. Pretty standard looking. First expansion will be Under the Goondocks, which extends the storyline through 3 additional adventures focused on the teenage characters. Now, Troy, son of the developer who seeks to replace the Goondocks with a golf course, is the villain, and the friends Andy, Brad, and Steph must work together to stop his bullying. So you need the expansion to play the older kids. That's kind of cool. The expansion comes with 4 sculpted miniatures, 1 adventure tile, 5 character placards, 10 foam movers with bases, 42 cards, 28 tokens, and adventure guide. Manufacturer retail price, $15. That's actually a really good price. Under the Goondocks will be released first as a Target exclusive for the holiday season, before it will be made available to game retailers next year. Funko will release a board game based on the 1970s classic movie The Warriors early next year. That's the real story. A game based on Rocketeers expected this autumn. Let's look at these because the real story is the Warriors. The Warriors! I've heard they killed Cyrus. Brand new fighting board game, images included. All right, this is supposed to come out Q1 2022. $25, 40 minutes play. Let's check the gallery out. You can play as different gangs, it looks like. Oh, wow, this loads like shit, and those pictures are horrible. All right, there's little minis. Yeah, this looks kind of cool. That could be good. I don't know. I'd check that out. It's $25. It might be good. Should have been played more like Zombicide, though. Yes, yeah, we looked at an article about that, Okie. It looks stupid. All right, let's look at the other one real quick. Let me get these off the screen here first. Bogging my system down. All right, let's look at the Rocketeer one. Hopefully it's not based on the shitty new stuff. Rocketeer, Fate of the Future. New board game. Players engage in action-packed battle for the future of warfare. One of the players takes the side of the Rocketeer and his allies. The other plays Neville Sinclair and his thugs. So it's based on the movie. The first one. The goal of the game is for the Rocketeers to team to keep their rocket plans hidden from Sinclair's team, and Sinclair is tasked with finding a way to steal the blueprints. Game board, Zeppelin figure with base, 6 characters, 6 character boards, 48 tokens, 36 hero cards, 36 villain cards, 10 current events cards, 24 finale cards, 3 playing cards, 2 reference cards, and instructions. $25, 45-minute play. Ages 12 and up, 2 players. That could be cool. We'll see. I'd be willing to check that one out. I love the original movie. It was fun. No need to remake it. But they're going to make a pseudo-sequel because they want to replace it with a black guy. That's the entire purpose. All right, give me one. All right. Let's talk some Super Mario Brothers, because I know you guys love Super Mario. I have no idea. All right, this is from Screen Rant. Super Mario Brothers movie cast is great, but mismatched. Super Mario Brothers will be getting their own animated movie And while it's revealed the voice cast is great, some of the roles feel mismatched. Video game film adaptations certainly have a rocky tenure. That's an undersell. But there have been some recent successes with Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog. I haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't think, but Detective Pikachu was shockingly fun. And it looks as though Nintendo's ready to take a new shot with their beloved Koopa-stomping plumber and his friends in partnership with Illumination. However, it seems as though some of the casting should be flipped to certain actors and their announced roles, potentially resulting in some missed opportunities. Well, let's look at the cast list here. Revealed in Nintendo Direct's live stream event, Mario will be coming to theaters in 2022 with Chris Pratt in the role of the Italian plumber. Additionally, Pratt will be joined by Anna Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike, and Charles Martinet will reportedly be voicing various cameos, being the original voice of Mario, Wario Waluigi, I don't know, and more from the popular Nintendo game. I think Charlie Day as Luigi is a really good casting choice, but I don't know about Chris Pratt as... they just need a big name in there, I guess. Maybe if he does a really stereotypical Italian accent. But if they already got the guy that did the original Mario, why wouldn't they get him to do that? We hate Chris Pratt because he's Chris Pratt. Yeah, pretty much. Nice, Viking. Yeah, atheist, that kind of is, yeah. Met Billy Campbell once. We went to the same art school he was visiting. Oh, really? That's cool. That's Jay Warriors. Come out and play. Charlie Day and Chris Pratt. Blah. What? That's okay. Pratt got on the roll since they need a big name for Mario. Yeah. Yeah, he's a weird choice for the role. But whatever. Charlie Day could use the work. I don't know who Anna Taylor-Joy is, or most of these people for that matter. All right, they go on. However, while the cast as a whole is great, certainly shows Nintendo's enthusiasm. Yeah, they're dropping a ton of money. Chris Pratt, no doubt, has chosen for his popularity and success with other animated roles, such as Emmett in the Lego Movie franchise. Jack Black feels like a more fitting choice for Mario. I disagree, especially considering his voice work as Po in Kung Fu Panda. No, he would sound just like Po in Kung Fu Panda, and he'd play it silly. And it's not... I don't know. I don't think he'd be the right choice for this type of silly. Blah, blah, blah. Furthermore, Charlie Day and Keegan-Michael Key should perhaps trade roles as well. No, leave Charlie Day alone. He'd play a great Luigi. To not have Charlie Day losing his cool Toad feels like a missed opportunity. Oh, fuck off. Oh, that's that guy. Okay. They want him to play Luigi? No, he's not that good of an actor. Jack Black looks like a serial killer right there. Like, hey, John Wayne Gacy, what's up? Yeah, I think he'd be okay as Bowser. And Taylor's... I don't care about this anymore. That's the cast. They're just going to go on and whine for a while more. So it's like a microaggression asking an SGA warrior to come out and play. Are you trying to give them a heart attack from too much activity? No, their parents will supervise, so they're not lonely. Hey, John Migda, how you doing? Alrighty. That's the good news for the end. All right, let's make fun of DC for a minute. Okay, so this comes from Bounding Into Comics. DC Comics pokes fun at anti-vaxxers with anti-saver movement in Superman vs. Lobo 1. This is one of the Black Label books. They're oversized, more magazine style, but with perfect binding instead of staples. And that cover is just that trash. This is the actual cover of the book. They want $8 for that. A bit of pandemic-related humor found in Superman vs. Lobo made the expense of one of the title heroes is causing a stir. Hashtag no thanks, Superman. But didn't Superman save that woman from getting crushed by one of Jimmy's giant scales? Turns out getting zapped by an experimental enlarging ray passing through a turtle doesn't cure dandruff. Too bad it didn't enlarge your self-esteem. Oh, see how stupid the boys are? Oh, Jimmy Olsen caused a problem and people didn't want to be saved by Superman's pal yet again. Shocker. Taking a jab, pun literally slightly intended, at people who aren't yet vaccinated against the coof, as well as those who outright oppose the vaccine. This issue sees a number of people taking to social media to voice their displeasure with being saved by Superman. So hashtag no thanks Superman we've got here. This woman says Superman didn't bother to ask about her fear of heights when he flew her away from a fire. This one says Superman is powered by radioactivity and making people sterile. And what the hell is... I can't even read that. Yanti Saver. Don't interfere with God's plans. Yeah, this is just lazy. More laziness. I expect better from Tim Seeley, quite frankly. Mirko Andolfo, whatever the name is. That person really, really is a very overrated artist. I'm sorry, this art style is boring and trash. Tim Seeley, though, I expect better from. He's usually at least a competent writer, but this is lazy politics crap that they're injecting more and more into DC. So the start of The Incredibles. Yep, pretty much. They're that lazy that they don't even realize they're ripping off other stuff. And they're doing cheap political shots, pun intended. And it's just lazy. The idea of people not wanting to be saved by superheroes is nothing new. Yep, right there, The Incredibles. As for Superman versus Lobo 1, this attempt to turn people against Superman turns out to be nothing more than a ploy by a crafty Lobo, who created Karen bots to cancel his rival's last remaining son of a dead world. In the end, it's up to Lois to set things right with their vlog. Stay in your lane. Oh, thankfully, remember the media saved us. Wonder if they're going to fellatiate Fauci in this one, too. Patton Oswalt, most unfunny man alive. Found it hilarious, of course. So, yeah, this is just more lazy PC drivel. I'm glad I didn't buy this book because I almost bought it on impulse. But I looked at the art and I was like, this is trash art. That Mirko Andolfo is so vastly overrated. I don't know how they've got the following they do. I think it's a chick. I don't know. But, yeah, this looks like garbage, so no thanks. More lazy politics from DC. Yeah, it was supposed to be a parody assassin. You're not wrong. But unfortunately, people see the success of something like that, and they can't stop themselves from jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, yeah. Atheist, you're not wrong. What? No internet gas? Right? Hey, Johnny. How you doing, man? Hey, Louie. Superman was created by Nietzsche, learning something new every day. No, he created the Ubermensch. Patton Oswalt, the guy that killed his wife. I don't know if he did or not, but I'm not saying he didn't do it. Woke wrestler that got beaten like 10 seconds and people lost their minds. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't talk about the shots, unfortunately. All right, let's talk about some more RPGs, because why not? This is also from ICV2. They're breaking all kinds of news, like usual. Battle of the System Lords with new Stargate Sg1 role-playing game core rulebook. New 5th edition RPG by Wyvern Gaming. Actual product images included from Gen Con. Wyvern will be releasing Stargate Sg1 role-playing core book, a 5e compatible rulebook, which will be released on October 5th, retailing for $60. So not only do you need this, you'll probably need at least the player's handbook from D&D too. Stargate returns to the tabletop scene with a new license holder, Wyvern Gaming. Stargate Sg1 RPG was previously published circa 2003 using the Spycraft D20 mechanics by EEG. That was a really good game. I liked that one. They had some great supporting books that really gave you the feel of Stargate SG1. Players assume the role of a Stargate team member working with the secret off-world Stargate program, which is designated as Phoenix Site. Players will use this as a launching point to explore new worlds through missions set forth by a gate master. The new book allows players to create characters from 5 races and 6 classes using a number of possible origin stories. It also features classes leveling, so level 5 characters can cross-terrain their characters in various feats. Okay. These 5e rules focus on social and plot mechanics, adding determination points and moxie to determine social turn order. The book also features a Stargate program brief chapter that details the events up to Stargate SG1 Season 7. So this could be really cool, or it could be really stupid. It's hard to say which, but the art is not real inspiring. That's the cover picture too, but it could be fun. You could probably modify it a little bit. I'd prefer they used a different system than 5e, but whatever. New rules, so wheelchairs probably. How's it going, Lesser? Yeah, I like the TV show, and I really like the movie with Kurt Russell. So I'll check this out, but $60 is high. I'm not paying that for it. No fucking way. Sisters are doing it standing on their own 2 feet. New rules, so wheelchairs. The hell is a social turn order? I have no idea. Oh, Wolf. I'm sure it's stupid. Social credit score. Yes. With wheelchairs and seeing eye dogs. Yeah, and comfort animals. And if you say you need a safe space, a doorway magically appears. PUC chair text. Ready for severe weather. Oh, good luck with the power grid. Good luck, Buster. Everything is better with Kurt Russell, even Fast and Furious. That's a fact, Assassin. That is a scientific fact. Because Kurt Russell is a fucking legend. And Soldier is a very underrated movie. All right, let's discuss some Doctor Who news. A misleading headline. Doctor Who Russell T. Davies allegedly supported Timeless Child retcon. This from Screen Rant. Returning Doctor Who showrunner Russell T. Davies has already supported Chris Chibnall's Timeless Child retcon. The Chibnall era Doctor Who has proved to be a controversial one. Not really, most people hated it. Dominated by a retcon that revealed the Doctor is not truly a Time Lord at all, rather she is the Timeless Child, a being who predates Time Lord civilization and became the base genetic code for every Gallifreyan who lived within the Citadel. This rewrote decades of Doctor Who canon at a stroke, and fans are divided. No, most of them hate it. Only the SJW weirdos like it. Some are hoping it will be retconned away again, while others are willing to wait and see what will come next. No, almost nobody is going to wait. This is stupid. Chris Chibnall will remain for abbreviated Doctor Who Season 13, followed by a number of specials that air in 2022, and will then depart as showrunner, accompanied by 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker. The BBC has revealed he will be replaced by returning Doctor Who showrunner Russell T. Davies, who will make an explosive return to screens to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who in 2023 and series beyond. Davies was the one responsible for relaunching Doctor Who back in 2005. His return will be celebrated by fans, but naturally, it will also be greeted with curiosity. What will Davies do with the Timeless Child retcon? Will he build on it, erase it, or take it in a completely different direction? Davies has been drifting back into all things Doctor Who for some time, writing some scripts that were set to animation during the lockdown, and most recently working with Big Finish on an audio recording. He's been reluctant to make any public comments about the Timeless Child, but in an introduction to a prequel he wrote to his first Doctor Who story, Rose, he made an observation that suggests that the Timeless Child opens a lot of storytelling potential. As he put it, but now the 13th Doctor has shown that us Doctors galore, with infinite possibility, all Doctors exist, all stories are true. That's a load of horse shit. It's laziness to keep that storyline. It's incredibly stupid, and it was a terrible retcon. Indeed, there have been strong suggestions Davies is unlikely to retcon away the Timeless Child, but rather is inclined to build upon it. During the lockdown, he wrote the script for an animated short featuring David Tennant, in which he dramatically rewrote the laws of regeneration even further. The video starred Anna Hope reprising her role of novice Ham as one of the cat nurses who appeared during the Tennant era. Dying of old age, Ham made a curious comment about her research into the Doctor, whom she expected to pay her one last visit. I've heard many stories about him over the year, his hundreds of faces and forms, Ham observed. The men and women and animals who have taken that name, and yet the one who comes for me is so familiar, this one is mine. The implication is that unlike the Time Lords, the Doctor can actually change species when they regenerate. That's stupid. What she said here was the people that have taken the name. That doesn't mean they were the Doctor. They're just people that took the name. It has hundreds of faces and forms, could be future regenerations. The implication is that, just read that. Meanwhile, Davis's novelization, Rose, embraced the Chibnall era as well, because it featured an extended version of a scene where the Doctor's future companion, Rose, spoke to a conspiracy theorist who had become obsessed with the Doctor. The theorist's photos include images of Doctors played by Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and Jodie Whittaker. There were others as well, a tall, bald black woman wielding a flaming sword, a young girl or boy in high-tech wheelchair, which looked like a robot dog at their side. Here we go with the wheelchairs again. All this suggests Davies is not inclined to dismiss the Chibnall era or rewrite the retcons, but rather build on the Timeless Child retcon. This has convinced me that they really should cancel Doctor Who if they're going to go forth with this crap. If they don't retcon that, they're screwing themselves over because they've lost all the older fans with it and insulted a lot of people in the process. Not only with that story, but afterward calling them istophobes. It was really, really stupid. And the only way that I think they can really fix it to appease older fans is to say that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is not the actual Doctor. She's the Valley Yard. And if you're not a Doctor Who fan, it was a version of the Doctor that might not actually be the Doctor, but an imposter or an alternate universe version of the Doctor, or somebody that thinks they were the Doctor, and was the prosecutor in Trial of a Time Lord, which was a great storyline, the best one of the Sixth Doctor's era. So at this point, if they're going to keep the Timeless Child, they need to just cancel the show, give it a few years, and come back and start over and retcon all that away. And just go back to the older stuff, because this is lazy trash, and all this PC bullshit that's been infecting the BBC is tiresome. It's boring, and the ratings have shown it time and time again. And BBC hasn't fucking learned. And they've done nothing but shit all over the Doctor Who legacy for almost a decade now. And it's showing. It started at the Matt Smith. It got worse under Capaldi. And it's really just lazy. I started to get into Doctor Who, and then they fucked it up with all this shit. Yeah, Lester, go back and watch the older stuff. I don't care how bad the budget is. The stories were way better written back then, and they weren't lazy, ham-fisted political statements or inserts for the sake of insert, where the Doctor is Rose's Doctor's clone. That's actually a good idea, too. That could be the Valyard. That's the origin I'd go with, is say it's the Valyard. Then you could bring back a villain from the old era, and you would have a background for him already laid out, and just say, hey, look, we laid this out. It was all there. You just didn't see it. You didn't see it. You didn't put the pieces together. And then they can justify it and say that the Master didn't lie to the Doctor. She is actually the Valyard Doctor. And that's really what's going on. They could say they were setting this up for a long time. And you're all just too dumb to have caught it. And that way they would appease the older fans, and they'd fix this stupid-ass story they came up with. It would also explain the Valyard's hatred for the Doctor, because the Doctor's been thwarting his efforts to get back at the Gallifreyans for abusing him. See, I just wrote a better origin story than they could have, which is really bad, because I just think that was like 5 minutes of work. Yeah, David Morrissey was great. They should hire him to play the Doctor, but they're going to go with more nonsense. So one Capaldi episode said, fuck it. It actually got worse as it went, which is sad, because Capaldi could have been a really good Doctor. He's got the acting chops for it. He's got the look. He could He had all the quirky movements, right? But the scripts were shit. Yeah, Buster. Doctor Who is just the British version of Star Wars at this point. They're just shitting all over it because they can. Yeah, Louis, right? Yeah, a Time Lord is going to be a cripple in a wheelchair, and he goes back to, the 5th century and can't get around? Yeah, you're not wrong, Peter. David Tennant part where he got the old loudmouth lady. Yeah, Donna. She was annoying. 5 more minutes than they did. Yeah, sadly, Buster, you're probably not wrong. Yeah, Capaldi's an excellent actor, and he got camel turned his scripts. You're 100% right, Okie. And that's so disappointing because he had the look and he had the acting skills. He was in an earlier episode. He was in the Pompeii episode. But they won't do it. They won't go back to the old way of doing stories where it was good sci-fi instead of lazy, ham-fisted politics. It's pathetic. It really, really is. And say what you will about the low special effects budgets for the old Doctors. I'll take their Sid and Marty Krofft level production with good stories over this modern shit any day. Favorite Doctor is the 4th. I've gone back and watched Matt Smith because of the 4th Doctor. Yeah, the one episode the 4th Doctor was in was actually a pretty good one. But yeah, I love the 4th Doctor. The 4th and the 5th are my favorites probably. A lot of the 7th Doctor was really good too. I got to see those when they first came to the States. Yeah, Matt Smith, about half of his were crap. And what got me was when they did the whole storyline with Jenna Coleman, forget her name, they kept calling her the Impossible Girl and all this. And then that storyline, like he stopped calling her that, and it was just sort of forgotten about. And the Peter Capaldi thing never addressed it. So when she departed the show, it was kind of anticlimactic. It was very, very lazy and really disappointing. They really didn't do her character justice when they wrote her out of the show. But they did that so they could get that woke black chick named Bill. I was so into Capaldi when he was playing at the BBC's Three Musketeers. I never saw that. Was that good? Matt Smith Doctor was all about the companions. It really was. I got kind of tired. I think they dragged out the Pond storyline way too long. That should have been much much smaller. And the stupid thing with the phony wife, River, I didn't give a shit about River once. I didn't care for the actress. She came off as very smug. And that's, I think, really what... if they had just never put her in, I think it would have been much better. But they tried too hard with her. It was really frustrating. There was no actual plan, and that was obvious. They just kept wedging her in, like, oh, we're building this something. And then when they finally wrote that story, it was kind of boring. We watched Matt Smith for Rory and Amy. Yeah, but they dragged them out too long. They shouldn't have been there as long as they were. Like the story where they parted was really good, but it should have happened probably 3 or 4 episodes sooner at least. Capaldi was the best part of the Musketeers. Still on one of the streaming services. I'll have to try and track that down. I never saw that. All right, let's get to our next article before I have to blow my nose again. Oh, oops, almost ruined the surprise for the end of the show. Or the one that made me laugh, anyway. All right, well, okay, let's talk about this Kickstarter that I found. Beginning of the woke shit, they forgot they made the Doctor the Doctor. Yeah, they made the Doctor out into a giant annoying puss bag. David Tennant's run was overall good, but even that one had a few stinkers in it. All right, so there's a Masters of the Universe Kickstarter going on right now from Cool Mini or Not and Mattel. It's at 1,257,300. Oh, it's going up. 5,700 backers. 1 week to go. This looks fucking great. So Cool Mini or Not does Zombicide, which is an amazing game. All around a fantastic minis game. These guys actually deliver on their games they create too. So it's got the classic Funimation style, well, the original Mattel lineup, I guess. And it's got a big battle mat, and you get all these guys, right? And here's your dashboard. So let's take a look at, it's 1 to 5 players, 14 and up, takes about an hour, which means they'll really play for about 3 hours because they're sitting around thinking the whole time. And you got these cool dice with Castle Grayskull on them. So here's what you get for the core. I'm obviously not sponsored by these guys. If I had the money, I'd back this too. $110, you get the core game. We'll look at the components here in a minute. $220, you get the Defender of Grayskull pledge. You get the core game plus the Assault on Castle Grayskull expansion box and this cool plastic Castle Grayskull, which is a Kickstarter exclusive. These things alone are $75. So there's the plastic Grayskull one. It's got the castle ladder, which you can actually use to siege the place. There's some hills here, the practice dummy. These are all quest items, I think, or various things that relate to what's going on in the game. Different things you can use, weapons rack, Assault on Castle Grayskull, more figures. They've got this lazy over-the-top cardboard thing because they want you to buy this. And then there's a She-Ra expansion for another $50 and the Great Rebellion. So you get She-Ra on a horse and She-Ra not on a horse and whoever the fuck these other people are. And this owl thing is exclusive. The owl is the exclusive here. The rest of this will probably hit retail. Now they just released Wrath of Snake Mountain, which is King Hiss and his men. This was just added on this morning. There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or Tyrantosaurus Rex is his name. He's got like cybernetic limbs and stuff. And that's pretty cool looking. Then you can also get a battlefield mat, 3D ruins, 3D pack nature set. Nobody cares about that. Some rocks. This is just for elevation. And these cool marble dice. The game comes with dice. These are just marbled. Whatever. They're $12. It's cash grab. So here's some of the characters. You get He-Man on Battle Cat, Tila, Man-at-Arms, Orko, Ram-Man, and Stratos. Those are your core guys. Then you get Skeletor on Panther, Triclops, Beastman, Evil Lyn, Trapjaw, and Merman. And for minions, you've got 8 Eternian soldiers and 8 hover robots. Then for elite minions, you get 2 Royal Guard and 2 Shadow Beasts. And then you get your regular board and overlays, tracker board for turns, player dashboards, which look a lot like the Zombicide ones they did, and the controller dashboard, power cubes you put in the slots here to mark stuff off, 12 dice, player controller character cards, minion cards, skill cards, activation cards, reference cards, etc. AI cards, you can play it solo, so there's AI cards too. Strategy cards, scenario book, AI action cards, 3-player cards, or 5-player aid cards, deadly plant tokens, water tokens, boulders, escalation token, hit points tokens, AIs, all the little shit, right? Then there's rule book, how to play video, all that crap. So let's scroll down a little bit. Here's the Assault on Grayskull. You get 8 Skelecons, 8 Randor guards. Here's the components. You got the jaw bridge. The miniature actually has a functioning jaw bridge, which is pretty cool. 4 attack cards, rule book, your usual crap. Plastic Grayskull. See, there's the jaw functioning. All the bits you're going to get. So it looks pretty cool, right? But there's so much more. They don't come painted, so ignore that. So they do daily secret reveals too. These are bonuses that everybody's getting, regardless of your pledge level. There's only 2 pledge levels. But you got King Randor, alternate terrain, Terraclaw, Skeletor, lesson cards, because you need your moral lesson at the end of the game. Prince Adam, alternate crosslays, Bounty Hunter Trapjaw. This is a playable character like the Skeletor one. Queen Marlena. Power containers for the dice or the cubes. Fisto, and today they just announced the holiday scenario. So they're going to do the holiday special. They haven't announced day 12 because that's for tomorrow. Stretch goals. Check out all this crap. You get Buzz Off, controller dashboards, Spike or upgraded plastic dashboards, Mechanic, Clawful, Deadly Plants, 3D ones instead of the little cards. You still get the card things in the core box. These are just add-ons. Snout Spout, Web Store, Deadly Plants, Extendar, Blast Attack, 3D Boulders, Mossman, Mosquitor, Objective Tokens to replace these cardboard ones, Clamp Champ, Ninjor, Rokon, Zodak, Stondar, Battle Cat. This is a scenario one. Whiplash, Roboto, Scareglow. They just unlocked Panther, so I haven't seen what comes up after this. Oh, you really are saying Jawbridge? Yeah, no, it's actually called the Jawbridge. Oh, they didn't update it. They just unlocked Panther, so there should be something. I believe it's Lady Slither. Wait, actually, that unlocked Lady Slither as well. Yeah, there's Lady Slither. So the new one added is Swiftwind, which is I believe that's a She-Ra one. Which nobody cares about that. Like, we got Fisto, that was cool. Scareglow, awesome. Yeah, Panther, cool. I made a list of characters that they don't have in there, and that includes all of the Horde. So I think there's going to be another $50 box set added onto this to have Hordak, Modulok, Mantenna, Grizzlor, and Leech. But we still haven't seen Manny Faces. They're not going to put Jitsu in here because he's considered a racial stereotype. But there's no Sorceress. There's no Cyclone, Stinkor, Dragster. We haven't even seen a Dora on here. Or, of course, like the Zor, Screech, Too Bad, or Shadow Weaver. Or Battle Armor He-Man, Dragon Blast Skeletor, Thunder Punch He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor, or Flying Fist He-Man. Plus, we haven't seen any of the old-timey stuff like Eldor, Keldor, and Hero, or King Grayskull. I don't know if they're going to add those on or not. But I'm hoping Manny Faces makes it. But this is the stuff you get with these other ones. And like I said, they just added Wrath of Snake Mountain with the big T-Rex guy. And all these dudes, like there's King Hiss. That's Tongue Lasher, Cobra Khan. That's King Hiss without the human skin on. And I forget that guy's name. And that guy. But I only see tokens for Tongue Lasher, King Hiss, and Cobra Khan. So they might... This is his other form, I'm sure. And these two might just be various Snake Men monsters. That's what I'm guessing. Don't remember Scareglow. He was one of the much later ones, Ginger. Yeah, these are real... Cool Mini or Not makes really good minis. They're the vinyl plastic, so they're not real fragile. Right? Stinkor was awesome. He was just a skunky merman. So, he smelled like patchouli. He did. Like ass. Yeah. Like he smelled like a hippie. I always liked that character too. But yeah, they just never do much with those. So hopefully we'll get Manny Faces and Stinkor at least. I'm really holding out that they're gonna have a lot more guys, but I mean the free guy, the exclusives like the stretch goals, you can only get through these. This is a Kickstarter exclusive as well. You can only order this through the Kickstarter. I'm gonna drop this link in if anybody's interested in this game that can afford it. Yeah, Jitsu's racist, but we need to make Snake Eyes Japanese because all ninjas are Asian. Yeah, exactly. Right, 1 million using the kit. What? What are you talking about? No, this is $1,250,000 or 1,250,000. They're just lazy. So you can see the running total up here. That's what they're at. So that they've unlocked a lot of stuff. I didn't even know this was going. I would have saved up for it because this looks fucking awesome. And there's still 7 days left on it, so there's going to be at least 6 more reveals. Scroll. So we've got probably 6 more reveals on the daily exclusives, and who knows how many more stretch goals. But I'm really hoping that Manny Faces is one of these, so we're guaranteed to get him. But like I said, they keep adding stuff onto here that wasn't on here before. Like Assault on Castle Grayskull was one of the early ones. It was here when I got here. And this looks like it's going to go to retail because it doesn't say exclusive. The She-Ra one was added a couple days ago. That also doesn't say exclusive, just this little owl guy is. But Wrath of Snake Mountain, they added that today. And that is a Kickstarter exclusive. So I'm guessing they're going to add an Evil Horde one on here within the next few days. But this playmat was also added a couple days ago, and so were these. I don't really care so much about these. Like, the hills might be kind of cool or something. The ruins look neat. That'd be cool to have an entire map so you can't, like, shoot across the board. But the important thing is that they're adding free stuff. And like the donation goals, they've added a lot of stuff on here, and they did have a thing with all those listed up here. Where is it? Yeah. So they had Swiftwind. These are all NPC ones for scenarios. Like you probably have to go rescue Battlecat or Panther, depending on which side you play, because you can play good guys or bad guys in this one. Assault on Castle Grayskull has it where you siege the castle. And you can do it from you can either defend the castle from the good guy's side or siege it from the bad guy's side. And they added all these minis. These are all Kickstarter exclusives. Faker's the one that you get with just the base pledge. You get Faker and all the applicable stretch goals. And the Defender of Grayskull one gets you the plastic castle. So if you're willing to spend $220, that's the way to go. Plus, it's going to be like $30 shipping, I think. Probably a little more if you do the add-ons and stuff. But there's a lot here. So if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, this is a really, really good deal to get all these really cool miniatures. And they're about the same size as D&D miniatures. It should be pretty cool. And this isn't coming out until October of 2022, barring a war with China. Might be slightly delayed if they have to do it here in the States, but yeah, they've already well overfunded this, and they just keep unlocking stuff and adding stuff on. So I thought this looked really cool. That is Snout Spout, Ginger. Hey, Trucker, how you doing, man? Oh, Elon Musk and his wife broke up? That sucks. I'm sure she's going to cash out, but those models look great for painting. Yeah, they make really good detailed models. If you haven't seen any of my Zombicide videos on their minis, there's some really cool stuff. Oh. yeah, Merrick. Yeah, that's really John Merrick. So, yeah, I just wanted to share this because I thought it looked really cool, and they're reliable. I've never been shafted by Cool Mini or not. I got my Zombicide Black Plague from them, and my buddy Wyatt backs damn near everything they've put out, except for the last couple of, like he did the Zombicide Second Edition because I've been unboxing his stuff. But the Old West one, he didn't do that one, or the Space one, which looked really, really cool. Let me see if I can find one of the Zombicide videos. So if you're interested in the quality, you can get kind of a look at that. Because I think that company makes some really high quality stuff. It's just a little expensive. I mean, that's a big ask, a couple $100. But I mean, he spent a lot of money on the Zombicide stuff because they had way more pledge stuff. But there's the Zombicide Second Edition core box. He-Man is dead. No, he's not. That's just some shitty Kevin Smith fanfic that he rubs one out to. All right, so let's move on to something else now that I've hyped a board game I can't even afford to back because that shit's expensive, man. Although, if you would like to make your money my money, you guys know the drill. There's the link. It's also pinned at the top. And I appreciate all the donations you guys have been doing. I realize the game people made the minis. They do make great models. Yeah, they make some really good quality stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the big news item going around. This one comes from Bleeding Cool. I'm sorry, Bounding into Comics. I like Bounding into Comics way more. They're a little bit more trustworthy than some of the others. Them and Bleeding Fool do a good job. In the case of buying what you pay for, they're expensive but the quality product. Exactly, BG. And you know what? I'd rather pay a little more for quality than to buy trash. And why is my system not responding? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. May have a technical problem. Hang on. What's going on here? I don't know what I broke. It doesn't want to do anything. It's freezing up. Hang on. It might crash on me. I don't know what's going on here. Google is not responding. Stupid Chrome. Oh, come on. Well, this is exciting. I can't do anything at all. That's lovely. I can't change tabs. Can't read chat. Can't see anything. That's what I get for trying. Yep. Uh-oh. All right. If this crashes, I'll be back in a minute. Don't do it. Don't commit any felonies in chat while I'm gone. All right. I think I'm back. That was annoying. I don't know what that was all about either. But it made me lose my tab, and that kind of pisses me off. So give me 1 second to find the article again. Good thing I save all these before I bring them up. this the one? Oh, stupid. No. I hate Chrome so much. Such garbage. It never works right. And you have to use it in order to do live streaming on YouTube. Absolute dog shit. It's the worst browser and it takes forever to load anything. It doesn't help my sinuses are going nuts still. All right, 1 second. I haven't tried Chromium. I don't trust it. Google sucks at working with Google. Yeah, pretty much. Little pussy photo essential on Twitter. No, I didn't see that. I haven't been on Twitter too much lately. Been really busy last couple of days, and that's kind of why I don't feel good. I think I just ran myself a little too ragged. All right. Where was I? Dumped it for Edge. Yeah, I tried Edge. Well, I use Edge for my main browser, but whenever I'm live streaming, I have to use Chrome because it doesn't work with Edge. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't have to like it, but that's the way it is. All right. So this story's been going around a lot. This is from Bounding into Comics. Steve Ditko's estate files to terminate Marvel copyrights over Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. This might actually explain why we're getting Ben Reilly back in the comics and why they're killing Doctor Strange off in the comics. Because they're going to try and resolve this first. Recent legal move by the state of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange co-creator Steve Ditko could result in Marvel losing their respective copyrights over both the Web Slinger and the Sorcerer Supreme. According to the two respective notices of termination filed by the United States Copyright Office on August 26th and brought to widespread attention by Marvel artist J.L. Mast, I don't care. Patrick S. Ditko, the son and current administrator of Steve Ditko's estate, is seeking to revoke Marvel's copyright over both the Amazing Fantasy Volume 1, Number 15 story Spider-Man, in which the eponymous wall crawler makes his first appearance, and the Strange Tales Volume 1, Number 110 debut of Doctor Strange, the appropriately titled Doctor Strange, Master of Black Magic. Those eyebrows are out of control, dude. Trim that shit. If successful, Patrick Ditko's termination of Marvel's copyrights would not necessarily require the publisher to stop publishing comics featuring the characters, as they would still retain the trademarks over them, but could see them barred from using any of the elements featured in the two stories. Thus, items such as Spider-Man's web shooters or the Amulet of Agamotto, characters including Aunt May, Uncle Ben, Wong, the Ancient One, and even both heroes' costumes could not be used by Marvel in any comic, film, or other medium. So you wouldn't see this anymore. The logistics of copyright termination law are, to say the least, complicated. That's underselling it. As noted by Robinson, Bradshaw, and Hinson via Bleeding Cool's Rich Johnson, attorneys for J.M. Connolly and Nichelle N. Levy, in an article written in regard to the historical legal battle between the Siegel estate and DC Comics regarding the copyright of Superman. The basic rule for works created and assigned prior to 1978 is that termination can be effective any time within a 5-year window that opens expectedly 56 years from the date copyright was originally secured. The pair explains. So if as in Siegel, a copyright was secured on April 18th, 1938, the 5-year termination window opened on April 18th, 1994. But even if that window is missed, if the work is in its renewal term in 1998, a second 5-year window opens 75 years after the date of copyright. Now, this is very, very complicated because all this stuff is pre-1978. 1978 fixed a lot of the weird problems with copyright law in the U.S. If this was a foreign work, this wouldn't be an issue. That the renewals are way easier. But stuff falls into public domain here a lot easier than it does in most other countries, especially the UK. They also have a 1986 law, which altered some of the 78 law. It's very complicated. I learned a lot about this years ago when I was embroiled in a legal matter over creative stuff. But this is interesting because this could be a Pandora's box Marvel does not want open. Schuster's heirs are seeking to take advantage of this provision, having given notice of their intent to terminate in 2013, 1938 plus 75 years. They continued, if a work first created or assigned after 78, the termination could generally be effective any time during a 5-year window, beginning 35 years after the execution of the grant. Taking these legal provisions into account, the window to terminate the copyright over Spider-Man's initial publication in 1962 would open in 2018 and end in 2023, while Doctor Strange's 1963 introduction would make his copyright eligible for termination between 2019 and 2024. The U.S. Copyright Office further adds that termination provisions are intended to protect authors and their heirs against unremunerative agreements by giving them an opportunity to share in the later economic success of their works by allowing authors or their heirs during particular periods of time long after the original grant to regain the previous granted copyright or copyright rights. Like the Siegel case, it's possible that such an outcome for Patrick Ditko would subsequently result in comics featuring either Spider-Man or Doctor Strange bearing a disclaimer similar to by special arrangement with the family of Jerry Siegel found in stories featuring the Man of Steel. So basically, they'd have to cut in Ditko's family on profits, which they don't want to do. And it would create legal problems for Sony as well. So there's a lot of financial incentive to make this go away. And they're going to do that by first alienating both these characters and saying, well, we're not really doing much with Spider-Man right now because they're not in the comics. That's why Ben Reilly and Mary Sue Marvel are going to take over these respective roles. That would explain why they suddenly decided to shift gears with these characters. So, yeah, this looks like it's interesting, but this is not the end of the story. Because if we go over here to Variety, Marvel sues to block heirs from reclaiming Spider-Man and Doctor Strange copyrights. Now, this just broke today. Oh, damn it. Damn sinuses. Marvel filed 5 lawsuits on Friday seeking to block the heirs of comic book creators from reclaiming copyrights to most of its popular characters. Damn sinus. So this doesn't just include Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Those are the ones that are happening right now. Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, and Ant-Man are also going to be up in this as well. The move comes after they've filed dozens of termination notices with the Copyright Office. If the notices were to succeed, they would not prevent Marvel from using the characters, which are created by multiple collaborators, but they would require the studio to make payments to the heirs. Now, most of the stuff was done work for hire, but the copyright law might just save them into getting a big pile of money for their work. No, Atheist Icon. Stan Lee wrote Spider-Man. Steve Ditko drew him. And Steve Ditko probably did a little bit more creating than Stan Lee did on a lot of the Spider-Man stuff. It's come out over the years that Stan Lee was mostly just an idea guy that was like, hey, a guy with spider powers, make it happen. And then he'd fill in the dialogue after the art was drawn. Stan Lee was mostly figurehead status. He did a lot of big idea stuff, but not a lot of the detailing. Yeah, it happens a lot. It's very common because Stan Lee was really good at hyping himself, whereas people like Ditko and Kirby really didn't do that much. Stan Lee did a lot of things for the comic industry, most of which was hype trained. He puffed a lot of his role in things, but he was really the pitch guy. He got attention. He went out and got the TV shows made, that sort of thing. Kirby once claimed he created Spider-Man. I would doubt that. He may have helped, given ideas or something, but I don't think he actually had that much to do with it. The termination notices were filed by Mark Toberoff, a veteran copyright attorney who fought similar battles on the behalf of the heirs of Jack Kirby, co-creator of several Marvel heroes, and of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, Cleveland natives, by the way, the co-creators of Superman. So this guy's got very good experience with this. He's a copyright attorney, and he's already fought legal battles for 3 big names. And the Siegel and Schuster ones, he got them some stipends at least. Toberoff argues that the Marvel author's work led to multi-million-dollar franchises and that their heirs should be allowed to share in the wealth. This is the deep, dark secret of the comic book industry, if not now, the entire entertainment industry, due to the explosion of these superhero franchises. It's about the artist's rights. It's literally about injustice. That's the risk you take when you do work for hire. Toberoff represents Larry Lieber, the brother of Stan Lee and a co-creator of Thor, Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, and Ant-Man, as well as the estates of Steve Ditko, Don Heck, Don Rico, and Gene Colan. All right, you're looking at some of the big guns here. Why they didn't do this? Well, I guess they really could a few years ago. But this is stuff that was left out of the other article, is that he's also representing Stan Lee's freeloading family and Don Heck, Steve Ditko, Don Rico, and Gene Colan. Some of these guys are still alive. I think Don Heck died, but Gene Colan's still alive. I think. No, maybe they're all dead. I don't know. In the lawsuits, Marvel argues that the characters were created under work-for-hire agreements and that their heirs have no valid claim to the copyrights, which is really what Marvel's going to rely on here. And if they have any of those written agreements of the work-for-hire contracts, they're probably going to win. Marvel points to the Kirby case in which federal courts sided with Marvel, finding that the characters were made under work-for-hire agreements. Marvel's lawyers, led by Daniel Petroselli, said the 5 new cases present virtually identical circumstances. Yeah, probably. Since these were works made for hire and thus owned by Marvel, we filed these lawsuits to confirm that the termination notices are invalid and have no legal effect. Marvel filed the suits in New York and Los Angeles against Lieber, Patrick Ditko, Michelle Hart Rico, Buzz Donato Rico III, Kenneth Detweiler, and Nancy Solo and Eric Colan. Patrick Ditko is the brother of Steve Ditko. Solo and Colan are the children of Gene Colan. Detweiler is the nephew of Don Heck. Hart Rico and Rico III are the heirs of Don Rico. Marvel is seeking a declaration that it holds the valid copyrights to the disputed characters. The company is not pursuing any damages. That's a smart move on their part, because going after these guys for money would be a really stupid publicity move, especially when they have movies out. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, heirs are permitted in certain circumstances to terminate. We just went over that. Toberoff argues that the comics were not done on a work-for-hire basis, as the law was understood at the time. He says that the authors were freelancers and independent contractors, and that they were assigned their copyrighted work to the publisher in exchange for payment. In that case, he argues their heirs should be allowed to reclaim the copyrights. This is going to come down to the wording of their work-for-hire contracts, if those contracts are anywhere still on file. If Marvel can't produce those, they may be in some trouble. At the core of these cases is an anachronistic and highly criticized interpretation of the work made for hire under the 1909 Copyright Act that needs to be rectified, Toberoff said in a statement. In the Kirby case, U.S. District Judge Colleen McMahon ruled that Kirby's work was done at Marvel's instance and expense, and therefore Marvel owned the copyright. The case involved deposition testimony from Stan Lee, who has since passed, in which he described the Marvel method of farming out work to various freelancers and illustrators. An appellate court upheld the ruling in 2013. Toberoff then appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, but the case settled before the court decided whether to take the case. Yeah, that's interesting. At the time, I was asked whether I regretted not writing the legal injustice to creators. which I indeed did. I responded there would be other such cases. Now here we are. The Toberoff filed the termination notices over the last several months. They began to appear on the Copyright Office website this week. Patrick Ditko's notice of termination pertains to the first appearance of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. We just went over that. Nancy Solo and Eric Cohen gave notice of termination regarding Marvel's Superheroes Volume 1, Number 12, which features the first appearance of Captain Marvel and dozens of early editions of Captain America comics in which Falcon first appears. There have been ongoing debate about how comic creators have been unfairly remunerated in the light of cinematic juggernauts their creations inspired. Billions of dollars. When Ditko died in 2018, reports suggested his estate was worth only $1.3 million, despite having co-created one of the most famous comic book characters in the world. It's a practice that continues to this day. Ed Brubaker, who's a giant whiner, he didn't create the Winter Soldier because the Winter Soldier was only a modification of Bucky Barnes. Fuck off with that. That's a shit example. It only made SAG residuals. Yeah, fuck off, you crybaby. But this could be big news for these heirs. And they won't get much money for a very long time, but they would be able to get something out of it. I don't know how likely this is to succeed. This is going off some really old law at this point. I mean, that 1978 law, that's 40-some years old. And they're going off a 1909 interpretation of the work made for hire. That's come on, man. They need to sort this shit out. And if these guys succeed, they're going to end up doing this with a lot of other characters too. Probably most of their catalog. So it could be pretty messy over there at Marvel over this. But that, like I said, that would explain why Peter Parker's not Spider-Man right now or in the next few months, and why they're killing off Doctor Strange. Oh, hey, sir. Intellectual property laws can be a nightmare. Even lawyers hate them. Yeah. That's why you have to go to an actual intellectual property attorney that specializes in this stuff. If you're dealing with copyright, go to a copyright attorney. That is the best way to protect yourself, because regular lawyers are wading through a quagmire. Now, granted, they've cleaned up a lot of this stuff. The way the copyright law is now, work for hire is work for hire, and the person that paid you is the one that holds the copyright. And the copyright is held for an individual like my copyrights will expire 70 years after my death. So you get that way, you get the benefit of your work, and maybe some of your heirs do as well, but then it falls into public domain. And the laws keep getting rewritten because of people like Disney who don't want to lose Mickey Mouse or Goofy or Donald Duck. They don't want anyone else having their fingers on it. So they're going to fight tooth and nail for these characters. But they're in financial problems right now. A lot of their loans are starting to come due, and they owe a lot of money because of that Fox merger. Plus, they bought Marvel, which has paid for itself, but they didn't get their investment back on Lucasfilm, so they're not really making any money off of that yet. And although Marvel's really the brunt of their cash right now, the parks were closed down for about a year, a little over, I think. The cruise lines have been shut down. That's where they make most of their money. Disney Plus has kind of peaked from the look of it, and there's barely any new content on there. And they've got these, I think it's $75 million they paid for Fox that they borrowed, and they got to pay all that. And then they're getting sued by Scarlett Johansson and all these other things. They're in like a couple lawsuits, and this is not going to help their image. Can't blame the lawyer. He needs to do what's best for his client. Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it could be kind of a mess. So Marvel probably end up settling this out of court. But it might be another reason they just stopped publishing comic books. It would be another nail in that coffin. All right, now on to the funny news. So you know that show, The Handmaid's Tale? That every feminist loves to talk about? Well, Variety released this funny little bit of information. The Handmaid's Tale sets record for the most Emmy losses in a season. They set a record. They're trendsetters. Yeah, the one they won't shut up about. Hulu made history during the September 19th Emmy ceremony, but not in a way they hoped. With its sizable nomination tally of 21 nods, the series expected to pick up a couple of trophies between the Creative Arts and Primetime Emmy ceremonies. Instead, it lost all the awards, setting the record for the most losses in a single year, topping AMC's Mad Men 0 for 17, which occurred in 2012. Only 3 shows earned more nominations than Hulu's flagship series, with Netflix's The Crown and Disney's Mandalorian receiving 24 nominations each, and WandaVision picking up 23. Also, like The Handmaid's Tale, Saturday Night Live's landed 21 nominations, but managed to pick up a handful of trophies between the ceremonies. Other empty-handers in Emmy's nomination history included Northern Exposure and Larry Sanders Show, which went 0 for 16 in their respective years. In 2017, The Handmaid's Tale won the Emmy for Drama Series, making it the first streamer to win the big award. Since then, the series has been nominated for awards in 2018 and 2020. And it's bombed this time, big and hard, like a big throbbing wang. At this moment, the writers working breakdown season 5. Nobody cares about the show. The show's fucking stupid. But yeah, set a record for Emmy losses. Screw this stupid PC nonsense crap. Screw the people that are constantly making references to this show. It's a fucking book and it's vastly overrated. I've read way better dystopian fiction. The Hunger Games was better dystopian fiction. So I found this funny, even though it's mean to say so. And I wanted to end on a high note. So that's really all I hit. Yeah, they did remake Little Women again. It's got to be more woke, yo. But that's all I had for today. If you guys have any questions or thoughts, toss them into chat now. Otherwise, we'll wrap up here in a minute. So yeah, they're remaking lots of stuff, and it's gonna be very PC, and it's gonna be trash. That's why keep physical media, watch your old favorites, and don't bother with this new shit. Most of it's garbage. Yeah, it's an actual TV show. It's on its 5th season. They did a movie years ago of it, but I had to read the book in college. And I was like, this is boring. You get it could have been a short story. You got the idea within the first couple chapters. Have a good one, Merle. So yeah, the show sucked. Wasn't worth the time. I had to watch a couple episodes with one of my female friends, and it was stupid. What do you think of those pictures I sent? Where'd you send them? Huh? Are you talking to me? I don't know what's happening. I haven't been online too much today, so I haven't seen any pictures, I don't think. Sorry, man. I've been sick, so I probably won't be doing much beyond that. You're on Twitter after your last stream of The Mist. Oh, yeah, that looked cool. I liked the movie The Mist, but man, that twist ending, ooh, that was hard. That was hard to take. Oh, wait. They remake stuff and toss the original into the vault, never to be seen again. You're right, nobody. I've been saying that for a while. Nobody believes me. But that's why you don't see the original RoboCop aired as much or even available. Older movies, man, once they remake them, they just quietly make the other ones less available until they just disappear from thought. Your rule never when I wake up to watch the end of woke up to TCM and found some great movies. Yeah, there's some great movies. Some of the old stuff is really fun. Yeah, it might be a little dated, but it's more entertaining than most of the trash now because it's not a bunch of woke, lazy bullshit. And people were way tougher back in the old days. They weren't all these whiners that are just looking at their navel all the time. That's boring. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming out for another Friday Night Comics and hanging out and listening to me rant about this and mute myself every 5 minutes so I can blow my nose. The movie was no music or anything. Oh, I never saw the remake of that. I'll have to check that out. The remake of True Grit was pretty good. And the remake of King Kong versus Godzilla was good. The monster fights were great. The original is still cool, though. But yeah, thanks for everybody for coming out and watching the show. I may or may not be on Monkey in the Morning tonight. I got to get some sleep. I don't still feel like shit, and I don't really want to be blowing my nose through the whole show. But in the meantime, hopefully we'll see you on the next stream. And thanks again for coming out. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Thank you so much for the donations, and we will see you on the next one.